Today, I want to share with you one simple practice that you can engage with that will drastically improve the quality of your mental and physical well being and perhaps even your creativity and productivity in the workplace. Do me a favor, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you have, well, thank you very much. All right, so I'm Eric Osborne. I've spent 27 years working in plant medicines with people from all walks of life. One of the most amazing things that I have come to realize is how few of my fellow humans spend quality time in nature. That's changing as science helps us understand how important it is, which is ironic because, well, we are natural beings, but here we are in this stage in our evolution where we find much of our time is spent in cubicles and concrete buildings. Now, it's not the way it has always been, and you know this. And yet, still, so many of us resist getting out into the natural world. Bugs, dirt, discomfort, all of those things that come up. And, I get it, I understand. I guess I am fortunate to have grown up in the countryside of Kentucky. I am educated, I have a master's in education, but I'm also very comfortable in the natural world. I grew up barefoot most of the time. One of the hardest things for me about moving back home from Jamaica was wearing shoes most of the time. And while that may seem, odd to you, I can tell you that there is quite a bit of science that's increasingly showing the value of things like being barefoot in the soil. It's a little thing, right? It doesn't seem like, why would that be so important? But here's the deal. This is how we evolved for millions of years. It's only in the last, call it 100 years, that we have been confining ourselves more and more so to very unnatural environments. This really became apparent to me when I was working with some folks in Jamaica who, one of which anyway, was a stockbroker. He had lived most of his life in New York, in the city. He did not venture outside of the concrete jungle, hardly ever. He didn't visit parks. He just grew up inside concrete buildings and brick and mortar. Well, when he came to Jamaica, because he was highly depressed, anxious, had a lot of mental health challenges that he was trying to work through, when he came to Jamaica, through conversation, I found this out and suggested to him that perhaps he would benefit from walking barefoot on the grass. I was actually just blown away that this was not a part of this person's experience. It's not something that I talk to many people about, really, but I guess just by default, I anticipate that we are human beings, and human beings occasionally venture out into the natural world without shoes on, and come to find out that's just not the case. And maybe you're one of those people. That's 100% okay. I'm not here to judge it, but I am here to share with you this information because it can quite literally change your life, just like it did my friend. So after his first mushroom session, he came to me, 4 or 6 hours later, and said, "Eric, I think I'd like to try that barefoot thing." I said, "Out, like barefoot in the grass?" It's like, "Yeah, I think I want to go outside and walk barefoot." Well, I was very excited for him, but not nearly as excited as he would become when his feet touched the grass. So there had been just a little bit of a rain shower. It was that nice, thick, spongy Bermuda grass that grows in the tropics. And when he walked out, stepped from the tile to the grass, and took about 5 steps out underneath of a beautiful, open, starry night, a few clouds passing overhead, mountain in the distance. The look on his face was unlike anything that I'd ever seen. I mean, it was like this 45-year-old man became a 7-year-old boy again. It was phenomenal. He stood there for probably 5 minutes, just soaking it all in. And I mean literally soaking it all in. There is science that tells us clearly that our body uptakes negative ions through our feet, that we discharge positive ions through the soles of our feet, that we maintain and find electromagnetic balance in our bodies by being barefoot. And this can be particularly accentuated depending on where we are. This sandy, loamy, rich soil where he was an excellent spot. It actually had quite a bit of iron in the sand. He'd find if you took a magnet out into the sand, it would collect pieces of iron out of the sand as volcanic coral reef that the sand was made out of. And it was just astounding to see how he experienced this for the first time. I still find this to be one of honestly the most sacred moments that I remember sharing with someone, because to be there when someone reconnects to the natural world from which they came, and for them to realize that is truly a gift. I mean, this is the reality. We did not evolve in concrete buildings and blacktop. I mean, they're great. I love conveniences. I love the modern world. I love that we can drive cars and do all the things that we can do. And as a, born and bred in Kentucky in the countryside, I have fortunately, a deep relationship and appreciation for the natural world. Standing in a creek, walking through a field, underneath of the sky, huge flocks of crows flying by, whatever it might be. Being in the forest, just simply observing the patterns of the leaves over your head can actually stimulate neural processing in the brain. It's so good for us. So how often do you get out into the natural world, out into even just call it a park? It doesn't have to be the wilds of Montana. You can just visit your local park and be there with the trees, be there with the birds, find a creek or a lake or a stream, watch the water, watch the clouds float by. It seems like such a simple act, but it is so central to who we are as humans. As a matter of fact, it's being shown that similarly to recommendations around cardiovascular health, exercising 20 to 30 minutes, 4 times a week, the same recommendations are starting to come up for being in nature, 20 to 30 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week for baseline moving towards optimum conditions. This is another reason why I want to speak specifically to working with psilocybin here. This is another reason why working with these plants, these compounds in nature is even more effective. Now, I know that everybody doesn't have the opportunity to do this. I know that in research, it has to be contained in a clinical or laboratory setting. But not only is there research that shows the benefits to our emotional and physical and psychological health being in nature, there are some preliminary studies that I've seen enough anecdotal that I know the studies will prove this, that consuming psilocybin and psychedelics in natural settings has such more profound of an impact on the experiencer's long-term health. It is so important for us to reconnect to nature. And if you are resistant to this, it's understandable, but you are probably one of the people that needs it the most. My dear, dear father in law, who I love so much, if I could just get him to get barefoot in the grass, and he's right here in Kentucky too. Alas, that would probably fall on deaf ears with him, but perhaps you will hear this and think, maybe I should go outside barefoot. It's a little thing, it's a simple thing, but it can have a big impact on your well being. Another instance I recall is working with an individual who was an anesthesiologist, and uh, during his session with the mushroom, it began to rain, and he was outside, not covered by anything. And I asked him if he wanted to go inside, and he didn't. He wanted to stay there with it. And again, this grown man transformed into a child with wonder and mystery and joy in such a beautiful and profound way. And both of these individuals that I'm referencing here, I know after having conversations with them months and one of them even years afterwards, that this was one of the most important experiences of their lives. Would they have been able to do this without the mushrooms kind of enticing them that way? Perhaps not. So, there are so many benefits to working with psilocybin, or what I truly like to call sacred mushrooms, because our ancestors for millennia have held these natural gifts as sacred. So this is what I've been doing for the last 27 years of my life, is working with these mushrooms to help people improve the quality of their lives. If that is something that is of interest to you, well, I'm assuming that's why you're here at this channel, then I'd invite you to check out my website, either ericsosborne.com. If you are curious about working with me in a private context. If you're not, if you'd like something that's more accessible, something that is more communal based, well, then you can check out sanctuary.org. That's PSANCTUARY. That is the sacred mushroom community that my wife and I have founded, that is constitutionally protected. These plants are our birthright. Being comfortable in nature is our birthright. This is part of who we are. And this is an enormous part of why I do this work, because I want to help connect you with yourself. I want to help connect you with nature. Not only do you need nature, but nature needs you. There's also a fair amount of research that has shown that consuming psychedelics helps increase our levels of ecological empathy, where we become more aware of our impact on the environment and how we can better engage with our surroundings in a way that is just more considerate, a way that improves the health of ourselves and our ecosystem. We are not separate from it, my friends. We are made of this earth, and we will go back into this earth. So while we're here conscious and aware with it, maybe we could improve the quality of our experience by engaging with Mother Earth a little more. Go outside and experience a tree. Just looking at the patterns of the leaves in the forest has a way of rewiring your brain. Just listening to a stream or the ocean, even the breeze, has a way of calming your mind and soothing your spirit. There are so many ways that we can improve our mental and physical health that we forget about because we have gotten away from who we really are. So get out there, remember who you really are, and explore the natural world. Take a little hike. Just go to the woods or a park. Doesn't have to be anything big for starters. Push your boundaries. Get uncomfortable, particularly if this is something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Get out there. Explore it. You might find that there is more beauty out there than you have ever imagined, and that participating in that, exploring that, will help make you a better parent, better friend, better business person, a better employee, whatever the case may be. Thank you very much for spending this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.